Hey, look, it's Best Girl down in the corner. It's Stolfo.
Lando, and welcome to the esteemed Ligma University. And in today's lesson, we're
Ligma balls. I like
a very
Lando.
important topic, and that is one
Don't you
on
bonk me.
Futanari. Yes, Futanari. What is it? And also, why exactly why do we like it so much?
I'm gonna preemptively say why I think people like Futanari, and you can either determine that I am projecting here or not. You can determine that for yourself. I think that people like Futa because you still get the penetration action in it. You get the same amount of penetration in the images / videos, but you get more female body. You get more nice thighs, nice ass, nice tits. You get more of that. It's more female, same penetrative action. That's my thinking. That's my thinking around it, and let's see.
That's
see what
we're
he
striving
thinks.
to answer today. So please, again, take a seat, open up your notebooks, and let's begin class. Like I said, students, today we are going over Futanari. It is a genre of explicit Japanese material, aka hentai, where a character or characters has both female and male explicit parts, body parts. Now, what do I mean exactly by this? Well, I'll give you an example here. Let's take a female character.
He's really good at art.
Chun-Li.
It's Chun-Li? I thought it was always Chun-Li.
A male character, for example, someone like Naruto. Now, when it comes to Futanari, in its most basic description,
how did he make Naruto look more anime?
It describes a character that is intersex, having both parts. Now, you could take this as a traditionally female character like Chun-Li having a phallus, or a male character having breasts, for example. But when it comes to Futanari in practice, out there on the field, we find that more often than not, the majority of the media is going to be female characters with the addition of male parts, conceptually speaking, and not male characters with female parts.
Although there is also the genre, if I'm not mistaken, not that I know from any experience or anything like that, but there will be the genre where they take some medicine or something and it turns them into a woman, but they kept their dang-a-lang, something like that. Hypothetically,
there could be some crossover here with Rule 63, male characters and or female characters being changed into the opposite gender in fan-made media, fan art and whatnot, but we are talking about Futanari. Now, before we get deeper into this subject, I'd like to get deeper into this subject. Futanari is a genre in Japanese explicit fictional works. So when we talk about Futanari, it is in the context of fiction. And although there might be some loose associations with this word to some real-life cultural things many, many years ago, today, in modern times, and in the context that I'm teaching you about, Futanari is not to be used to describe real-life people.
He's like, this is not a social commentary, just in big red letters on the screen. This is not a social commentary. It's all fake. Don't take it seriously.
Trans people specifically. Now, there might be some trans people that associate positively with this word. Who am I to say? Who am I to really know? But generally speaking, I think we would all agree that Futanari, to describe real-life people, would be pretty distasteful. All right, you hear that? It's lunchtime, students. So before we get onto the rest of this lecture, let's get some brain food in us. Oh, I don't know about you students, but I am starving. Luckily, Ligma University offers a very nutritious diet plan for its faculty and its students.
Of course.
Now,
yep, there it is.
Eat, I think this is a good opportunity.
I was half expecting an eggplant to show up, but a banana works.
Something important about Futanari for you visual learners out there. Now, when it comes to Futanari, there are three main types of physical appearances of a Futanari character. We're going to use these food items as stand-ins for the explicit body parts you might find on a Futanari character. First off, we have a banana, or a phallus, a schlong, schmeat.
But I think phallus was spelled with an F.
Member, length. And to go along with this banana, we have two tangerines. and they go at the base of the banana,
the balls,
like so. And this represents the male package, as you can guess. And in a Futanari character, this replaces the normal female accoutrement that you would usually find. And they come in different shapes and sizes like they do in real life. They come just like this, girthy, way above average length, that's for sure. And maybe sometimes they come with a little bit of that skin missing.
Now I don't like envisioning this being the real thing getting peeled.
Some sensation for the banana, but I think they make do. And so that's going to be the first version of a Futanari character that we might run into. And so what we have next is this donut. That's going to represent the female body part usually found in explicit material. Right there, this delicious donut.
All right, okay.
Right.
All right, Tech Knight.
So in the second form of a Futanari character, in the physical appearance of it, instead of the standard male package, you remove the tangerines, no tangerines, and in place of it would be the donut.
Which makes no sense, but they draw it.
Normally would be, but with a banana protruding from the top. Arguably, this is a more niche
You're watching science,
to the standard male package being on a Futanari, but otherwise popular within its own community. And for the third version of Futanari character, we're going to combine our entire meal and have a balanced, nutritious diet. We're going to have the standard male package, like so, resting upon our donut. Now, this might seem a little
like it's wearing a hat,
to you, but to some people, this is their preference. And
actually, there's a recent new procedure to make that combo. Do they both work?
We can't argue that this is definitely a pillar of the Futanari genre. But I think whether or not
don't blame me for this. This was in the Discord.
Banana, no
blame Auntie in the Discord for putting this in. Okay, it's not me.
When it comes to Futanari, it's all.
Look, and viewership is up right now. People want to see this shit, you degenerate fucks.
Well, that answers the question of what is Futanari, but not why Futanari. And what do we mean by
people come into the stream? Well, people come into the stream, they see fucking phalluses and packages. They're like, oh, dude, I'm sticking around for this.
It's so popular. Let me give you some metrics here for reference. We're going to be pulling from two main sources, two main websites where Japanese explicit media, as well as other types of explicit media, are hosted. That would be these two websites right here. Now, for liability's sake, I'm not going to tell you exactly which websites these are.
I have no idea.
These are the two most popular websites for hosting Japanese explicit media.
I'm going to be completely honest with you. I know what the left one is because I can translate. I actually have no idea what the fuck the right one is. I don't know what this is. So I guess I'm not so far gone that I have no idea what that one on the right is. So that one I can just read. So yeah.
As well as other types of explicit media. This one being for images, and this one being for doujins, or the comic manga version. And on the first website, there are 603,639 individual results for the word Futanari. And for the doujin site, there are 35,416 individual works posted with the tag Futanari. Now, I don't know about you, but I think that's a lot of Futanari. Now, the question is why? Why do we like Futanari so much? Well, the key thing here is projection. That's the term that I use to describe the phenomena at play here when it comes to Futanari. Much like how Charles Xavier, famed telepath leader of the X-Men, might project his conscious mind from one X-Men to another person. Tracer with a big fat. That's the type of projection I'm talking about here. Now let me go more into depth. The key appeal of the Futanari genre is understanding. Understanding what it feels like to have your chicken choked. So I think the tabooness and the appeal of Futanari comes from having that sensation that men are so intimately familiar with and projecting it onto a female character or female form and having that character experience, know what it's like to
That's fair. That's a good
pleasure.
Insight.
That's the tabooness. That is where the main appeal of Futanari comes into play.
Yeah, because I'm just gonna. I've I have heard that in these types of dojins, I think it's called, they'll have it where sometimes, you know, the one who now has grown a phallus will sometimes say things to the effect of, oh, so this is what it feels like. Oh, I couldn't imagine this is what it feels like for a guy. So, you know, I think he's right. I think he's right.
The appeal of Futanari can be summed up in
Not
this
that
way.
I would know or anything.
Hey, I know what it feels like, and I like that she knows what it feels like. But she's not supposed to, and that makes it hot. That's the projection I'm talking about. It's witnessing these female characters experience the same pleasure that I feel, with a little bit of tabooness. Students, I'll ask you this. Why do we all like MILF so much? Well, we all
I'm
have a
not
mother
that big into MILFs.
or can relate to some sort of motherly experience.
I'm not big into MILFs, I'll be honest.
And why do we all like furries so much?
I'm not big into furries.
We all have an innate primal nature harkening back to our pharaoh ancestors that we all want to tap into and go primal. And that's why we like Futanari so much. It's because it's relatable. It's universal. And so intellectual detractors might say, hey, Professor Lando, if it's about relatability, then why wouldn't you just watch men? Isn't that the ultimate relatability? That's because we're missing out on the taboo element. Men beating it, well, I beat it. I've been beating it my whole life. Also, why would I watch men? What, am I gay?
Fair. I'm surprised he hasn't said it, that you get more female parts involved with it if you have it. Surprised that hasn't come up yet.
To answer this question, I want to take a look at one of my favorite scenarios.
Oh God. One of his favorite scenarios, chat. What the fuck is he drawing?
What we have here is a visual representation for Plato's allegory of a cave.
Oh my God.
In regards to hardcore Futanari, I ask you this question, students. Are you the prisoner or are you the onlooker? What exactly are you lusting for?
I did not expect the fucking allegory of the cave to come up.
The projection and relatability of the phallus on the female character. If so, then I purport that it is not
I do not
gay.
like dommy
However,
furry milts. How dare you,
if
chat?
not the reason you like Futanari, then there could be a whole nother discussion to be had. And maybe, just maybe, it might be gay. Okay, now we're going to talk about something called the Futanari pipeline of self-discovery. So how does this diagram start? Well, it starts with the most basic exposure. Hentai. Perhaps the first stage because of how accessible it is, especially how provocative the visuals can be.
Nobody starts at this, right? Chat, nobody starts at this. No. They start at anime. Okay, they start at anime and then it moves over to hentai. Okay? No one just goes fucking deep dive into hentai first. That is not how that works. No way. How does someone just go straight to that? No. They're like, oh, anime. No, you start at anime and then you're like, oh, dude, I'm a teenager now and I'm watching this. Like, oh, that fucking Pokemon character I've developed a crush on. I'm gonna look up art of it, and then you fucking find it from there, and then it moves on from there. No. Most people start at the anime part and then move on.
Mostly being animated media. This could be discovering a certain Teen Titans animation on Newgrounds, or perhaps a clip of some
everyone knows that
animated, explicit Japanese fictional work. But eventually you go on to the next stage, which is doujins, a slew of content that you never knew existed before. The volumes are comparable to a Library of Alexandria, the sort of Library of Alexandria of the modern age. When it comes to the animated works, this is the clickbait of the not safe for work pipeline. Because although
where do you go after doujins?
Fantastic animated works, generally speaking, these are not the best in hindsight. Of course, when you're first discovering, this is very sensational, but doujins, that's where the meat is at. The care each panel has.
Chat, that's where the meat is at when talking about Futanari.
As the amount of work that can be explored is why doujins is the next stage. Where do we go from there? Well, now we discover SFM or 3D animations. Never underestimate the human potential for evolution, students. SFM or Source Filmmaker, which is a 3D software developed by
Really?
Valve,
It's made in
or other
Source
3D programs
Filmmaker?
such as Blender 3D, most popular.
I did not know that people use Source Filmmaker to make spicy images or spicy films of this variety. I mean, I'm not surprised they do, but I didn't know it was prevalent enough for people to mention SFM. I knew Blender, and what's that one? The MMD Miko something? I can't remember the name of it. They use it for like animated music videos and stuff like that, but I know it's also used for this type of stuff. Yeah, I always associated Source Filmmaker for like TF2 and stuff like that. So now I know. But I thought MMD would have gotten that instead of SFM, because not that I know of or anything like that.
Popularly, I believe, allowed people to create a whole new world of not safe for work media. 3D renders, 3D animation, taking the 2D planes, which have been available in doujins and in the animated 2D works, and bring them into a whole new dimension. Source Filmmaker and Blender. Part of this is being able to take community-made models, assets, and the sheer productivity, the sheer output going down this pipeline. What is inevitable as a next step? If you are consuming SFM or 3D...
Wait, I would change this. I would say that the 3D comes after the hentai. I would have to say, like, put this back up there and then put doujins afterwards. Not that I know of any experience of this at all. No. Because hypothetically, my first exposure to Neon Genesis Evangelion as a young RaveSpecter, as a teenager, and anything, my first exposure to anything from that franchise might have been of the 3D variety of some case. With a character that had red hair in a red suit being attacked by a monster of some kind, as a young teenager, and being like, what the fuck is this? Who the fuck is this? What the fuck is going on? Yeah. So, it'd be just, I would just move that around. Not that I had an experience like this. Is all purely hypothetical.
The media, you are bound to discover Futanari.
I mean, yeah.
Yes, Futanari. Because Futanari, although apparent in both doujin works and in animated works, for some reason seems to be particularly present within 3D works. Now, not saying that you can't skip a step here. Perhaps you might find your way more prevalently in doujins than animated, but still possible. Perhaps there are some works I'm not too familiar. Maybe you can send me some just so cross-reference.
Send me
what
some.
are we talking about here? Well, when you go down this pipeline up to this point here, you might be somewhat normal. As normal as you can be after discovering what these are. But upon discovering Futanari, I think, as a newly initiated person, you might be thinking, oh, I don't hate it. Maybe. Kind of like it. So whether you follow the standard
I'm gonna disagree on one point. The saying like, but before this, you're normal. I don't know about that. Because, okay, here's something. Again, hypothetically speaking. In the hentai area, why the fuck is it commonplace for there to be X-rays? Why is that so common? I don't understand the appeal of like, dude, I want to see what's going on the inside. I don't get it. Hypothetically speaking, of course. I feel like that once you just hit this part, it's like you're not normal. You're not normal. X-ray, yeah, you see the inner workings. You see what's going on the inside during the pounding, okay, let's say. I'm talking about a friend I know, obviously. Because people like to see their work. I don't understand it. I don't understand why it's like, dude, I want to see what's going on the inside.
Perhaps find yourself off the beaten path.
Y'all don't know that? Oh my goodness.
And you have to admit something to yourself. Hey, kind of like that. And where
I think that the X-rays are for people who have
on
a
an
reading
entirely
case.
separate pipeline.
It seems like it's in every single one of these things, though.
Maybe
I don't get
you
it.
could see something like this happening. Whoa, wait a minute. Now, instead of liking female characters, those are just dudes. But hey, I think students, what you're saying is, but Professor Lando, no, they're feminine. They're breedable and submissive and or. Well, once you're at this stage, there is a way you might find yourself even deeper.
Oh no, where does it go from?
I just like men. Now, obviously, what I'm trying to say here is not that Futanari is going to turn someone bi or gay. You can't turn someone into something they're not. You can't change them. You can't turn them into being gay or bi. But maybe this might reveal what's inside. Okay, now we're going to talk about the different types of subgenres.
All right, so that's why I haven't gone that route.
Futanari.
Got it. I mean, hypothetically speaking.
Okay, so the first subgenre that you're probably going to run into the most is going to be Futa on female. And an example of this would be
Oh my god, Tsunade.
And Shizune from Naruto. Tsunade here being the Futanari character,
big
and
into
Shizune being the standard female character. Now, the reason I've chosen these two characters to demonstrate this scenario is because within the canonical material, the series Naruto, Tsunade and Shizune are a pair. They're friends. Shizune serving as an aide to Tsunade, who is the Hokage for a time, and introducing the Futanari aspect within this pairing specifically, and other types of female and female pairings that you might usually see in the source material.
Hey, welcome, Drago.
It is able to take their relationship and introduce this sort of new flavor to it. Now,
new flavor, okay.
Is fan-made content of explicit nature, right? Being images or dojins.
Also, again, hypothetically speaking, am I the only one that, like, hypothetically, am I the only one who has noticed a trend that is usually the more busty or endowed characters that are the ones who become Futanized, so to say? It's usually like they're already packing up top. That then it's like, oh, now give them a schlong, Don't you slander me in the chat. Don't you be like, Rave likes lollies. I do not, okay? I'm very vanilla. I'm very vanilla. I'm very, very vanilla.
Of these two characters and other female characters partaking in...
Although I will say one thing. I will say, hypothetically speaking, again, there needs to be tags, hypothetically, that have it for short stacks. Okay? There needs to be a tag for short stacks. Because, again, hypothetically, it kind of sucks to have to go to Oppai Lolly, and then they have all this material where they're like, oh, I'm X age, and it's just weird. It's just like, what if you just want short stacks? What if you just want that? And you don't want them to be underage? Hypothetically speaking, again, make a fucking short stack one.
Coitus.
Yeah, Gibby Phil.
And that already is a sort of rush and tabooness in itself. But introducing
I do not get this off of my head. I do not like this. Do not like that. Oppa Lolly is short stack. It is, but then you're hypothetically, and then you're reading it, and they're like, oh, mister, I have to go to elementary school. I'm like, and I'm fucking out of this shit. Oh, God, get this out of here. No, thank you. I get it, it's fake, but this, nope. That's why you just don't read the text. Don't read the text. Don't do it. Because you want the short stacks, but then they're just like, oh my goodness, they just nope, no thank you, I don't want that. No thank you, I don't want that. Are tomboys gay? No, tomboys are awesome.
That next level, whether it be Futanari or something else, you're taking it to that boundary. All in all, when it comes to Futanari, this model is pretty standard stuff. Okay, so the next subgenre that we're going to take a look at is Futa on Futa.
No, thank you. No. Hypothetically speaking, not for me. If I ever see this tag hypothetically, I always have to check, is it Futa on Futa or is it Futa on female? Because then if it's like this, I'm like, nope, I'm out of it.
The example I'm choosing here is
that's how I know I'm not into men, hypothetically.
Jury from Street Fighter. So obviously in this subgenre, Futanari on Futanari, you take two
viewership
characters that
is
are
up while we're
usually
watching
portrayed
this.
as female
This
in
is
the source
saying
material,
something
and they
about
are
y'all.
Both Futanari characters. What I think really sets this subgenre apart from the others is the combative nature of it, as opposed to the first one, Futa and female, where there is a very clear give and take in the relationship. I enjoy the sort of clashing that might appear in Futanari.
Not for me.
Futanari. That's why I've chosen these characters from a fighting game, Street Fighter, of course, Cammy and Juri. It's sort of a battle, and that's where the fun
Juri?
is.
Oh,
okay,
I hang on.
The last
Isn't Juri the character that they put feet all over? Okay, real quick. Isn't Juri this one? Let me find it. Hang on. Where is the shop? Isn't there a shop on Discord or something? Shop? They have new thing. Yeah. Isn't she this one? Juri, yeah, it's the one for feet. It's the one for feet. Like she's so prevalent. I know she probably does a lot of kicks, but her feet are such a part of her character that the Discord thing even puts her foot in your face. You're like, look at me, I'm foots. I got it. I'm into feet. So it is. Okay. All right, I thought so.
Subgenre that I'm going to cover is Futa on male, or Futanari on male.
Nope, not for me. Not for me.
Okay, my example for this would be 2B from Nier Automata, and me, Professor Lando.
No. Don't ruin 2B.
The traditional role that men often find themselves forced into by societal norms is one where men are predominantly the acting force, specifically in relationships. But sometimes we need these roles reversed. And what do I mean by that? Well, sometimes men might like the door held open for them. Or maybe sometimes they would like to be the ones to get a compliment. Or maybe sometimes they would like the other person to pay for the check.
2B would never do this anyway.
And sometimes
maybe that's part of the liking of it.
Futanari 2B to plow them like the fertile lands of Mesopotamia. And so it is in this way that Futanari on male
There's a lot of Futa 2B,
but perhaps the most rewarding of the subgenre.
I know I've been saying hypothetically a lot, but I have to emphasize the hypothetically, or the nature that I don't know this, because this is hypothetically totally actually true. This one's actually true. I don't know this, but isn't there a like Final Fantasy version of 2B who's like a tan version of her or something, where she's like tan and she wears white instead of black? And I'm guessing there's probably a lot of that, isn't there? Where like it's with herself, or I don't know who that character is, but that's my thinking. Why there's a lot. That's my thinking. Why there's a lot of Futa of 2B. That I actually don't know. I am actually connecting the dots in my head. Yes, I fucking knew it. Out of all the things I said hypothetically, or I don't know, that one is real, for real.
Genres of Futanari, and I've been speaking mostly on Futanari on male, but of course this implies that the male could top the Futanari character. But that is for the weak of soul and mind and body. Only the weakest, whose bloodlines are inevitably bound to wither away and die, would prefer to top a Futanari 2B.
Is 9S a guy?
To get topped by a Futanari 2B exists.
Is 9S the only guy in Nier Automata?
The subject of Futanari would not be complete if we did not talk about Overwatch.
Oh, yeah, here we go.
First-person shooter game.
Yep. Overwatch porn is like 50% of the reason for the popularity of Overwatch. I'm convinced by it. I am convinced by it. And yeah, again, this one's actually true. Not really into Overwatch videos like that. I'm not into it. But I am pretty sure there's probably videos out there of Widowmaker and Tracer, and one of them's packing.
Game developed by Blizzard Entertainment, released on 2016, took the world by storm. It's hard to really adequately describe how popular Overwatch was, from the fan-made content, cosplays, art, to the competitive scene, the casual gaming scene, all the videos on YouTube and clips online. Overwatch was simply a phenomenon. Okay, well students, you might be wondering, why are we talking about Overwatch? Well, it's because when it comes to Futanari, there is so much Futanari based on Overwatch. I have seen so much Overwatch Futanari. And not just Futanari, there's just so much not safe for work content of Overwatch out there. On
not really into the videos, gonna be honest.
Not safe for work image hosting site, there are 101,367 results for Overwatch.
Rarely
That
Mercy?
aside,
Thank God. You know what? I'm actually happy to hear that they rarely do anything with Mercy. She's too sweet for that. She's too sweet. I'm glad they avoid Mercy. Thank God.
What is the answer to the question, why is there so much Overwatch Futanari? Well, it's because playing Overwatch
makes you gay.
Feels like you're getting
or that.
By every character, that they have to give each character a dick so you can probably get by your teammates no matter who they play. Additionally, to answer the question, is it gay to like Overwatch Futanari? My answer, yes. And it's not because of the Futanari.
It's Overwatch.
It's because I can't think of anything gayer than liking Overwatch.
Boom.
Hello students,
Thank
you so much for watching the video. Professor Lando here with a little bit of an announcement. I'm going to be making an appearance at Anime Expo this year.
I didn't go to that.
Weekend, Los Angeles, California.
This is an old video. All right, well that's the end of it. Go check him out at Anime Expo on July 4th of this year. You know, go back in time, go find him. Yeah. So, yep. I think I'm gonna have to bleach my brain after all this. Go do that. But yeah. So, okay. Well, thank y'all for watching. Again, if you think that there needs to be, and apparently somebody in the chat said there is a short stack tag on some of these websites. I've never seen them. Hypothetically, I've never seen them. But if you think there should be, write your congressman and let me know down in the comments down below if you also think that there should be a short stack tag. But until next time, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of the day. Oh, also tell me if you want more of this. More from, Professor Lando. I like his videos, but I haven't kept up with him in a while. So yeah, but let me know, and hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the day. Stay awesome, y'all.